Welcome back to another fresh version of Lord Fish's Blender videos. I'm kicking all that fresh fish flavors in your ears. And today we're going to try to make some console crap so you can put game systems inside of your game. If you're using Unreal, you can go ahead and scale with me. If you're not, I don't know what the hell you should do because I don't use other things. You know, because you use them, I assume. And if you're just watching for fun, thanks for joining us from all around the world. Maybe this will inspire you to do something on your own. Even if you don't like my designs. Alright, so let's start off with making some consoles, I guess. And then we will try to make some controllers and things like that for the consoles to make them make a bit more sense. So we'll go to our scaler, move them out. Try to find the right size. We'll start off with something like, what's this going to be? Is it going to be a Sega? Is it going to be a Nintendo? You guys don't know. I'm just kidding. We'll make a... I'm sorry, Queen Fish is making jokes in the background here. Oh, you got jokes, do you? Alright, so what we're going to do is throw one of these puppies in here. And are we, though? You know what? Let's not do that. Let's undo that. It's already starting off good, isn't it? Isn't it now? So we're gonna make a Nintendo. We gotta figure out a way to get the right shape out of the front. Buttons are easy enough. It's gonna be that cut. And we could try to do. Let's see if we can do it this way. Control R, like that. Okay, and then we will, is it on one side? I think it's on one side. Oh, we got this, guys, we got this. And then we will spread them out. Yeah. Alright, and then we'll go to lines up there, just make things easier. And then we'll Control R again. And we will move this up to here. This will all make sense in a minute, I hope. Just kind of making it up, as you know. I don't really plan it out a whole lot, so. Okay, something like that. And let's see. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to faces. And we're going to grab this one and this one. That's going to be our door that actually opens up. Okay, so then we're going to P it. Selection. Okay, now that is its own piece, okay? So when we grab this, this is its own piece. We can move it around. I'm just going to right click to cancel it, but you can see we can move it around. It is definitely its own piece, okay? So now that door is set right. We can go click on this and go back in edit mode with tab. And we're just going to remove a bunch of these lines. We don't really need them anymore. There's not a whole lot of other things that are going to be cut off or anything like that on this. So just to save all the faces and everything, just gonna get rid of the extra ones and try not to do any of the ones that were there originally. Oops, I must have hit one there. Yeah, that one. See, we just got to get the ones we added and not the ones that were already originally there on the square. And you'll know because it'll hold its shape when you get rid of them. Okay, so just the extras again. Just the extras. I think that's needed. Maybe that one and that one. So let's try that. Oops, we must have hit one. I don't know which one, but it made our piece go all wacky. Let's see. Don't know which one. Maybe that one. Let's try that. What are we doing here? Oh, I know what it is. It's this one here. Let's try that. Sorry about the troubles here, but sometimes you got to do this a little bit. Oh no, there it's still messed. So what is it? This one? Doesn't really make sense. try like that, I guess. Just get rid of the ones we can anyways. No, it still did it. Let's try grabbing them again. Maybe we got an edge we're not seeing, and that's why this is happening, because I just don't understand. Dissolve edges. No, it keeps on happening. Okay, you know, let's just leave it like that. That's probably fine. We could subdivide near the end to make it a little more even. That'd be fine. So, we'll go out here. We've got our opening thing. The reason this has to be separated is for we can make it open on an angle. So we can make it roll back when it opens, where we can enter our Nintendo game in, so to speak. I think that's how a Nintendo is. It might be a little bit different shape, but you go ahead and make the shape you need. Okay, let's make another cube. And we'll pull it forward. Where are the on and off switches? I feel like they're under it, but I could be wrong. If I am, just put them where you know they are. I have not played my Nintendo for quite some time. This is more of an example to kind of get you on your way to making your system by yourselves. So if it's not exact, just use your better judgment to make it better. And feel free to tell me what I did wrong in the comments. I don't mind hearing about it. My biggest issue is my terrible memory, and I know it's a problem. Shift D, we'll make a second button. What we could do, if you guys want, is just for you could see them a little bit better, we could take both and we can Shift D, and then we can grab the box and we can object bool difference. Now we can take this one and just hit S just a little bit, hit this one, S just a little bit. It just gives it a little tiny edge around it because now there's an actual hole behind it, so it just makes it a little easier to see. So if you're happy with that, that's our buttons. We probably just need some controller holes, I think. Yeah, I don't know where the controller holes would be, but we'll just pop some in. And again, this doesn't have to be exact. It just kind of has to look like what you're trying to go for, basically. So if people can look at it and see the color schemes you did and be like, oh, okay, that's supposed to be this, you've done good enough. Now these are going to be a little bit different. They're going to be a little bit bigger than the buttons, I think, so a little bit wider maybe. And then maybe a little bit thinner this way. And we'll go into edit mode with tab, and we'll grab just these corners. And oh wait, you know what? Before we do that, let's go up here and make this face just a little bit smaller, like that. Then we will go to edges, and we'll redo all those edges. Alright, we could make a back piece for it too, but I don't really feel like we need it. We need to add some bevels to the corner because it's not really rounding. It's more just taking an edge off. Something like that, and we'll redo that edge now. Undo, Control B, and just go till it kind of looks good. Kind of like a controller slot should, something like that. Alright, it could be a little bit like that, I think. And then we just want to make it look like you plug something into it, so we got to give it a bunch of holes basically. And so we'll use a cylinder, pop it on over. It's been a while since I made a Blender video. I've been doing other stuff too much. It's kind of forget the controls a bit. And again, if you have a request too, if you need help making something, put it in the comments. Maybe I'll make a video about it. Always looking for cool things to make for games and stuff like that anyway, so it helps. Alright, so I'm gonna have to kind of guess at the hole size. Something like that. And then we will move it up just a hair. And then we'll just Shift D, move it over a bit. Shift D, go on the other side a bit, something like that. Shift D, this one down a little bit. Shift D, same thing. And I'm just hand bombing these. They don't have to be exact. They're going to be so small, it's going to be pretty hard to see. So if they're a bit off, then you shouldn't be able to tell. But eyeball them as best as you can. If you can see one's not in place, then fix it. Yeah, I think that's it. And we'll minus the one shape from the other. Difference, okay? Now you can see that's where you plug your joysticks in, okay? Makes sense hopefully to you. If you need to fix it up or do something a little different, go ahead. We'll do 2 of these because there's usually 2 joysticks, right? And we'll go ahead and attach everything. The only thing we'll leave disattached is this if you want it to be able to open. If you don't, go ahead and attach it, but this way it's a separate thing so we can color it separately. Okay? Alright, so we got our system basically. The only thing we're really missing is some joysticks, I guess, and maybe some cables. We might have to do this a part 2 if we make cables, but we'll do the joystick real quick. I don't know, it's a pretty convincing console to me. We'll color it all after it as well. So we made another cube, drag it out. Yeah, I think that's the right move. I haven't really thought about this, so you're going to have to be patient with me, guys. Trying to be creative together, and that way it's not just some little thing I made up. Hate giving a presentation to people. So we're going to do a Nintendo controller. I'm pretty sure they are right on square like that. The only thing I could think is that I think they have a small inset here. Like, okay, let's move this a bit. Something like that. And then, I don't know, let's do a, I was just going to move it down, but it's going to angle the whole thing. I think we got to go E, then move it down a bit. And if it didn't go on the right axis for you, you may have to push Y, Z, or X to make sure it's going straight up and down. But as you can see, it just gave it a little inset on the controller, and I'm pretty sure that's how Nintendo controller is. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, what we need next is a cube. Drag a cube out. Oops. Okay, we're going to have to undo that. And the reason is we can't do it in edit mode. We got to do it out of edit mode. So I push tab to get out of edit mode. Now I'll make the cylinder. Now I'll drag it out. Okay, and then we'll S to scale it down. Scale it down. Now, if I'm remembering correctly, Nintendo's have 2 buttons. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure. So we'll do 2 buttons over here. Shift D it. Okay. Grab both when you're done. Shift D them. Oops. So now we have 1 extra of each, and we're going to minus that from the controller. Object, bool, difference. Now we're going to take this, S just a little bit, take this one, S just a little bit. You can copy them and move them over if you'd rather, if it's a little more accurate for you and you want it to be exact. Not a big deal. I'm not really sure. Okay, let's try this actually. Do I have an extra one there? No. Do I have an extra one there? No. Just want to make sure we don't want to have any extras sitting around. So take this one and we'll do one of these. And I don't know how the buttons are in the middle here, but I feel like there's something like this. So we'll do that, and we'll move it over a little bit. We'll Shift D it. And I think these 2 are a little more closer to the bottom like that. Maybe these 2 are too. If that's the case, you're going to have to make that piece over, so I'm going to leave it. We're going to Shift A. I'll make a cube. And it's looking pretty fast, and it's going pretty fast, guys, so hopefully it's going good for you too, and it looks pretty good, and this is what you wanted. So we're going to slim this down. Actually, let's Shift D it first, okay? Let's slim it down to, let's try to aim for an even number, so we'll do 0.200, okay? So we're going to do this one, and we're going to slim it down the opposite way. And we're going to do 0.200, okay? Now, I hope you get the idea already of what we're doing here. So that's too long. So let's try to find a standard. Something like that. So 0.700, we'll say. Just for we can make these even, right? And then, again, 0.700. And hopefully you see again what I'm trying to do. Just thinking it out to make sure we don't miss anything. I'm going to grab them both together, and I'm going to shrink this down. Something like that. Let's bump it up so you can see it. Okay. Kind of put it in place to make sure it's around the right size, because we want it to be pretty good. Might be just a hair big, but I think it's about right. Let's just do it. So what we're going to do is Control J, and you can offset this by putting a hole behind it if you want, but I think actually let's try that. Let's try putting the hole there. Go up to Object. Okay, sorry, I should explain this more. Make sure you click this one first, then Shift click this one, then go up to Object, Bool, and Difference. Ooh, okay, that went wrong. Okay, undo it. Go to Object, Bool, and then Difference down here. And yes, it did the same thing, but we'll be able to adjust it now. So we'll go down to the solver options, and there we go. It's solved. And now we'll apply it, and there you go. Only thing we need to do is take that outer shell and delete it. Now if you really want, you can take this, S it down just a slight amount, and you'll see it just adds a little bit of an edge all the way around it. So you can see it kind of a little bit better. We could do the same for the select and pause button, but I don't think I'm going to bother. I'm just going to move them to make sure they're pretty much centered in between the two. That is looking pretty good to me. It looks like a Nintendo controller to me. So maybe we will, I grabbed that in the wrong order. Grab all your buttons, click on one, then shift click on the rest. Shift click your controller after, then Control J. Now we have them all joined together. Your controller is one. All you need to do basically now is we need to make a cord to go to the system. If we want a second controller, obviously we just Shift D this, and we have a second controller. Let's do some coloring real quick, and then we'll come back and we'll do the chords in the next video. I'm sure you guys can figure them out, but if you have any trouble, then you can just follow along with my next video. So let's start off with, let's delete one of these. Okay, let's delete this one because it was a copy, and we'll keep the original and we'll color it, and that way when we do other ones they'll be already colored. So we're going to do new. I'm going to go into edit mode. The first color we are going to make like a weird darky gray color, I think, like that. Oops. And then we're going to keep those buttons highlighted if you can. If you let go of them, just undo it. And we are going to make them black. Alright. And that way if you want to change these, maybe you want this one to be red, we're just going to push L over it. And we'll push plus, new, and we'll make that a different color. That easy. Maybe you want this one to be a different color. L, plus, new. We'll pick it a new color as well. It's orange now. Say you want this whole face to be a different color. We're going to go left click, shift left click, shift left click. Now we can change the whole color of this whole plate here. I don't know what color we'd want it to be, but here's an example. And of course you're just giving it a slot, so you can change your colors in game too. If you want them to be different colors, or if you're happy with that, that's fine. Alright, so I'm going to go with that. That looks pretty funky to me. It looks like a little funky retro controller. Not exactly traditional, but we're just giving it a slot until we put it in our game, and we'll be able to put lots more colors on it. So let's move on to the Nintendo itself. I mean, Fintendo. That way we don't get any copyright trouble. Our Fintendo is pretty nice. Alright, well, let's do some coloring on it though. into edit mode, and we'll do this first one. I don't know, I think they're kind of gray like that, not too sure. And we could do some other color schemes as well. Maybe we'll do this red if we want a red stripe. I don't know what the heck to do, so we're just going to do that. And hopefully that looks cool. Is there a piece in between there? Yeah. Okay, plus, new. And alright, there's a fancy Nintendo stripe there. Maybe we want this to be black, where you can see where you need to put your game in, right? And obviously I'm just giving you examples, and these are just slots, so you can do it however you want. If you want to move the lines over, you're still free to move them. You just need to be in edit mode, and you can move these lines over. Just go to lines, grab the line you want to move over. Ooh, it's going to affect the front, so I'd probably leave it like that. Put another cut if you need to, but... Alright, so let's click off everything. We'll go L over the buttons, and that should make the whole button color change. And we'll make them this color for now. Oh, I wasn't on faces. That's my fault, guys. There we go. Now they're yellow. So we need these to be a different color if you can see them a bit better. We will also make them a new color. And again, these are just slots, so if you want to change the color in-game or make it a slightly different color, that's fine. It's not a big deal. I don't know what color to make this anymore. We've used a bunch of them. It's green for now, until we get it in-game. Okay, so that's easy enough. We got everything colored pretty well, and it's ready to go into game for we can give it more colors. Oh, you know what? I did mix the connectors on the back. I don't know if you guys want them, and if you need help with them, but I'll do them in the next video, and that way if you do need help with them, there's the option, and if you're done now and you're okay to go from here, you're good to go. And remember, now that we can already colored this, now that we copy it, it'll already be colored for us, so it'll be easy enough. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you thumbs up, and we'll be back in the next video.